Well, it has been long overdue since I made a clock collection video, so might as well get started. So here is the clock collection as of December 12th, 2024. And of course, we're going to start off with the Ridgeway. It's still here, still ticking, and it's still in its same shape with no inner door. But you can hear it, it's ticking normally. And yeah, it's still here, so still running like it's supposed to. 4 years since I picked this thing up. It was a trash find, and throughout these 4 years it's still running, even in its condition. So yeah, that's that. Now right here, these clocks are still here. We have the Junghans. Although you're probably wondering what happened to the door. Well, someone knocked it down. What do you have to say? Yeah, she's not going to say anything. Despite being knocked over, it's still running, even with the broken glass or no door. This right here, the Ergos, is still running. Pretty sure you can hear it. This thing right here, small quartz clock, which is not running because it's probably needs a new battery. Yep. No corrosion, so that's nice. No leakage. Here's the Centurion. This is also still running. That's the Kundo. This one stopped running for some reason. It may be off balance, so I might have to readjust it. Overall, nothing much has changed here besides that, but that's really it for this side. Well, here we are inside the room, and we mute this real quick. Here we are inside the room. This is different compared to last time. I reorganized some stuff, but it looks kind of cluttered here, so, but then again, that's kind of what happens when you're in a small room and you have to just deal with the space. Here is the gingerbread clock, the New Haven. That's right. I don't know if you can see it there. Yeah, there it is. This one doesn't really want to run anymore because of where it's placed at, and because of that, it's a little bit offbeat. I still have yet to get this cleaned up because the clock thing kind of died down inside, but it recently resurfaced. You can hear how kind of offbeat it is, so it's probably going to end up stopping. This thing, I don't even know if you can see it. Okay, sorry if the camera's shaking. Here is my Revere Telechron movement clock. It's 2-chime, Canterbury and Westminster chimes, but I have it set on Canterbury, and it's not running because I have it unplugged, but I will plug it back in soon. I am just lazy at the moment. So yeah. Well, not a clock. This is my Radio Shack Pro 650 radio/scanner. It's on FM right now. And while it doesn't show the time, I do use this for weather alerts. Well, might as well do an alert test. It's gonna be loud. So you get the idea. Now I'm just going to put it back on FM. Now we move over here. We have, well, it actually doesn't say what it is made or what brand it is, but this is a Bim Bam wall clock. Again, unknown manufacturer. This one has always been stingy though, and just recently it decided to actually work properly. And yeah, that's really it. The pendulum looks like it kind of moves. It doesn't move at all, or just barely, but I guess that's just how it is. Either that or something's worn in it, causing it to stop. But recently it's been doing fine. Down here is the Junghans Bam Bam mantel clock. This one's also running. This one doesn't have a glass thing in the door, so you can just wind it without having to open the thing. Right here is my Seth Thomas OG clock. This is probably the oldest clock that I have. If not, then that probably goes to the gingerbread clock. One of the things that I do like about these clocks is how you can see the actual movement. This one probably ticks more audible. See right there, Seth Thomas. I don't know if you can really see it, but the weights are right there. There's that weight, and there's that weight. And it has a little crank. You crank it to wind it. And here's the little gong. So yeah. Alright, I'm getting a low battery message, so I probably have to make this quick. Here's my Keininger Bim Bam mantle clock. Still here. Still working fine. Right here is my Seth Thomas. I don't know what kind of style it is. It's some sort of style. Either that or I forgot what style it is, but it's made in the USA. And this one has the cathedral gong. This one ticks really quiet. Back there is my Junghans loudspeaker, which is one of my personal favorites because even though it's very small chime rods, the loudspeaker amplifying it is what makes it sound best. So yeah, loudspeakers back there. Down here is my Waterbury. This one doesn't work though. This one mainspring is broken, so it doesn't run, but the chime still works. Has a very quiet chime too. For the half hour, this is probably the only clocks. This is probably the only clock that I have that has this. For the half hour, it rings a bell. So that's the Waterbury. Here's a cuckoo clock. The cuckoo clock used to be over there, but now there's 3 wall clocks over there. And then it fell over there because of my cat, but that's a different story. Surprisingly, it still works. So that's that. And it can actually, well actually it really can't because of that. But it still runs if you move the weights down, so yeah. Here is my Seth Thomas mantle clock. This one has an interesting issue. It doesn't chime on these, but it does on the full hour. So, but it chimes like multiple times before it stops, but it still strikes. So I've actually silenced the chimes. I guess there's some sort of lever in there, which is this key, controlled by this keyhole. So you only get the strike, so I just left it at that. The time still runs though, so that's nice. Down here is another Junghans. Another Junghans Bim Bam. This one has seen better days though, judging by the condition of the inside. So it's probably been kept outside or something. All this hard dust and stuff that I tried getting rid of. Despite that, it still runs, especially in the condition that it's in. I've had this clock for like 2 years now and it's still working. Down here is the Insomnia. Still ticks loudly, and probably one of the loudest gongs that I have. This here, I believe, is another Seth Thomas. This one, Yeah, another Seth Thomas right there. Similar to the OG, but a lot smaller. This one, the little thing that holds the gear when you wind it, got worn out, so you can't really wind it or else it'll just slip. I can still demonstrate the chime though, but for some reason, it chimes over here instead of here. Very loud mechanism, so it probably needs to be oiled or something. Either way, it's gonna have to get serviced. Again, don't know what brand this is. It could be a Smith's, but I'm not sure. This one really doesn't want to run anymore, so it probably needs to get serviced for a cleaning. The chime still works, but this one's completely random if it wants to run or not. Chime still sounds nice. Down here is an Enfield. Well, looks like my modern handycam died, so we're going old school. Alright, back to what I was saying. This is an Enfield Bim Bam mantle clock. It's very small. This is where that one Bentama clock was at, which as of right now, it's getting serviced finally. Back there is the Sly clock. I don't know if you can really see it. Yeah, there it is. Although the door doesn't fully close anymore. You try to close it and it doesn't do it. So, that's that. Okay, right here is a Jouch, or I don't know how you really pronounce it, but this is another wall clock that's standing here. So now there's a trio of wall clocks. Although this one does have issues. Well, it does run good. This thing won't shut up, which is why I have it on silent. This one's probably more unique because it's a dual chime. It's Westminster, and it also has, I don't know if you can really see it because of the scuff marks. It also has the Ave Maria chime. And it has bronze or copper chime rods instead of steel. Hence, it's so small. So I figured I might as well just demonstrate this. Westminster. Now here's Ave Maria. See what I mean? It'll just keep running. So now I gotta get this thing to actually quiet itself. Sure you heard the strike there. Sounds very similar to that clock right there. Only difference is the chime rod's being steel on that one, whereas this is copper. Also, the wood seems like it has seen better days, mainly right there and right there. Yeah, right there. Actually, it's more over here, because it's kind of warped. So I don't know if this was stored in another odd spot. I don't know if there was humidity or something, but Some of these clocks are really stored or in odd spaces when people own these. Trying to get this to close. Yeah, there we go. It's a nice clock, but I'll have to get that fixed eventually. Here's the Vedette French wall clock. It's still here. I'm pretty sure you heard it go off while I was trying to get this one to silence. Finally found the sweet spot for the speed of the time. This thing has an interesting issue, which it's not really of a big of a deal, but can get annoying. So there is something inside the mechanism that's probably broken or something. So if you move the hands, like maybe over here, it feels very loose. So then what happens is the hands won't move at all, and it will probably get stuck or something. And if you do try to adjust the time manually, the hour does get off sync by 1 hour. So I just let it catch itself. But here's the strike. Still here, still running. And then here's the FMS mouth A. This thing still has the thing where you have to push that in order for the rack to drop. And I still have that knocking in there to actually have the things retract like that. Notice how similar it is compared to this one. So yeah, that's still running. Okay, I really don't know if I'll ever get another required weekly test. If you're wondering why it says no same, it's because it hasn't been tested. Because the station is still down. It's been down for like 2 months at this point. And I don't even know if it's going to come back online, so... You ever see this? It's because it hasn't received the required weekly test like it's supposed to. I know on some other radios it seems a bit different, but on this one it says no same. So, as you can tell, nothing. So, again, not another clock, but I guess this kind of counts since it's a digital clock, but also radio at the same time. This is my AlertWorks AAR-10. This is a pretty known radio, and it works pretty well. Again, there's no signal. It hasn't been on in months at this point. And I figured I might as well do an alert test. So yeah, that's that. It only has one tone, which is that, and it plays for all 3 warnings, which light up right there. And I guess this concludes the clock collection, so... Guess time to close this out. Well, hope you enjoyed that section of the clock collection, and I hope you enjoyed this video, because it's been maybe 1 or 2 years at this point since I last did a clock collection video. I'm surprised that thing's still running. It usually would have stopped by now, but I guess it decided to cooperate. So yeah, try to get some of these fixed up. And, well, I guess that's it.